Hey guys, it's Drea. Today I have another quick and dirty video for you. This one might not be quite as quick as normal because this is my top 4 products from Wet n Wild, but I love Wet n Wild so much that I actually have 2 honorable mentions. So this is kind of more like top 6 from Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild is one of my favorite brands. I think they do affordable makeup so well. I was thinking today, like, okay, well, what do they do best? They do face products really well. They do lip products really well. They do eyeshadows really well. It's like, oh, they do lots of stuff really well. So I have my top 4 favorites and then 2 things that I also think are really worth mentioning. Can we also talk about how I feel like I should be going to the CMAs or something? Like, I feel like country, like going on here, and then like extravagant eye makeup going on. I don't know, I guess I just really felt like playing with creative colors today, so hope you're okay with that. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing that I love. This is Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I've talked about this a lot. I did an all-day wear test with it on my channel about a year ago, and this, I'm pretty sure I remember putting this in my top favorites of the year last year. This is such a good foundation, especially if you have oily skin. It lasts all day. It has really nice, like medium, high medium coverage, but I still feel like my skin always kind of shines through. It controls oil really well as well. So this makeup will last from morning till night on my face. I might have to blot, but I have to do that with almost every single foundation. But it will still be like the same foundation 12 hours from now as you see right now. In fact, this will take me longer through the day before I actually have to blot it than many other oil controlling products even will. Even without like an oil controlling or mattifying primer underneath, it's still going to be really good. The one thing that you'll always hear people say about this, and it is absolutely true, is that it smells like paint. And it does. It smells like you're putting paint on your face, which at first can be a little off-putting, but it does go away like as soon as you apply it. It has that little spatula to apply it. I love it with a beauty blender, which is how I usually use it. It just gives you the most flawless looking natural skin look with this foundation. Another product that I've loved for years from Wet n Wild, and I've actually panned completely, is the contouring palette. This one is in Dulce de Leche. This is the second one I've had. I don't really love the contour side of this, although I am using it today. I'm not really like a huge contour person anyway, so I just don't really use it, but I know a lot of people who do love it. But what I really love about this palette is actually this side, which is so smooth of a powder. It's so good for setting your under eye. It gives you a little bit of a brightening effect under the under eye, and it's also really good just for like those days when you don't want to bake, like if you're doing more natural looking makeup, you just have some concealer and you just want to set it so it won't move. This is so fantastic. It's such a smooth powder. It has a little bit of pigment to it. You can see just enough to brighten on most skin tones, but not enough to like make you look like ghostly. So I think it's just going to give you that little bit of a subtle brightening effect. I am wearing that today. I could not mention Best of Wet n Wild without mentioning, I think, the product that, I don't know if they're most known for, but like this just took over last year. These are all of my Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit lipsticks. I love this formula. I think it is so good, and they're $5 a pop. It's like, would you rather pay $20 for a liquid lipstick that lasts all day, or would you rather pay $5? It is so good for all day wear. Some of the colors I would say maybe might need a second coat. It just depends on the color itself, the pigmentation. This one here I'm wearing is Rebel Rose. This one is like a 1 layer. It looks perfect. It's gonna last for hours. I never have that problem with wearing away inside on the inner lip with these liquid lipsticks like I do with some others. So I just think this is such a bomb formula. I had a hard time picking my 4th product, which is why we have some honorable mentions, but ultimately I came down to another lip product. I really love Wet n Wild lip products, and these, if you don't like liquid lipsticks, these are such a classic. These are the Wet n Wild Color Icon lipsticks. They're just bullet lipsticks. They are a little bit of a thicker formula. They're not that like really creamy that just kind of slips across your lips. These ones are more of like they're kind of a cross between a matte and a cream, so they're very thick. They kind of like not drag, but they definitely like take time to take across your lip. You have to be a little bit careful because they are super pigmented, all of them. You know, they all have a little bit of a shine. There are some that I would say maybe come off a little bit more matte than others, but ultimately they just, because of the thickness of the formula, are going to last all day. Like, they will last hours and hours. If you're eating or drinking, obviously I think you're going to have to reapply, but these are going to last you just so long on your lips because they don't budge, they don't move around, unless you are like kissing somebody or drinking coffee or something like that. And even then, it still leaves that pigment behind on your lips, so you will put some lipstick on your coffee cup, but it's not going to be completely gone like after a couple sips, you know what I mean? Anyways, they just have so many colors in this range. There's just like every color under the sun, and I think these are $2. Like, how can you possibly beat that? It's ridiculous, the price that Wet n Wild charges, in a good way. All right, let's get to the first honorable mention. And the reason that I'm not like putting this right in the top 4 is because I am still in the middle of testing this out. I've always loved Wet n Wild eyeshadows. Back to the Comfort Zone palette that was like so big on YouTube a couple of years ago. I think it's still a classic. They actually like redid the packaging of it, and their eyeshadows have always been like the best of the Drugstore, in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of Drugstore eyeshadows in general. There are gems here and there, and I would say Wet n Wild is one of the absolute gems. Like, they are a diamond in the rough. And so I have been testing this palette here. This is the Wet n Wild Rose in the Air palette. This is actually my Bought It Forgot It series for this month, and I will bring you a full review in that video. But this is the 3rd time I've used this, and I know you're gonna be like, well, you only used it 3 times. Why are you talking about it? That's why it's just like an honorable mention. But today I'm just using the mattes all in my eye. Obviously all this color is like something else. But I am using the mattes. These blend so beautifully. They really do. They just have a lot of nice pigment to them, to the point where like you get that application of color on your eye, you can blend it out, it doesn't disappear when it blends out. You can build it up, but you're not getting a ton off the bat, but it can be built up and it doesn't go away when you blend it out. And they just blend into each other so easily. Yesterday I wore this at work, and just people actually stopped me to ask me what I had on my eyes, and it's always nice when that happens. And so it's like whenever that happens, I'm like, oh, this really is a good product, you know, like people are actually noticing. So I really am enjoying this so far. Full review to come on this though. And final product, another honorable mention, is a lip product. This is the Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liner. I actually have another one of these, which I cannot find at the moment. I'm a little sad because it better not be lost. I love these lip liners. They are amazing. So these are really, really creamy. They're gel formula. Anytime you have like a gel lip product, usually it's pretty creamy, pretty wonderful on the lips. This one is in the shade Bear to Comment, which is what I've lined my lips with today. I just love how these glide, and they also give you so much pigment all in one. Like, they're not like really hard pencils that you have to like kind of go back and forth to scratch out a line around your lips. They just glide across. They're just beautiful, and again, super affordable. So that is it for all of my top faves from Wet n Wild. I hope this helped you out a lot. If you have any favorites from Wet n Wild, please leave your review down in the comments so other viewers can see it. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.